Hey guys, welcome to TPS Skylabs. So this is going to be a class for our Year 11 students mainly, Year 10s and whatever, can probably use it as well. But we're going to be looking at our required algorithms for the GCSE. If you don't know your basics, fors, ifs, whatevers, then you're going to have to go back and do those first. But we're going to be looking at how to do these different algorithms in this playlist. However, we're going to start with totaling, and these ones below, and then we'll jump up to linear search and bubble sort, which are a little bit more tricky. Anyway, let's jump right into it. So, if I can open the super window, there we go. So what we're going to do is we are going to start by making an array. So I'm going to call this my accounts. Okay, so I am obviously a billionaire. And so I'm going to have an account, a bunch of accounts. I'm international money launderer or something, who knows. Anyway, so I'm going to have $900 in one account, so rich. 100 in this one, 50 in that one, 1,000 in this one, and let's say 6 in that one. And what I want to do is I want to add all these things together. Now, of course, you could do that manually pretty easily, but let's say we had 10,000 different accounts. Then what algorithm could do that for us much faster? Now, one thing to remember is that we should write our comments and make sure we're doing that. Another thing to think about is we might have to do this in pseudocode, so I'll try and come back and show us how we do this in pseudocode as well. Okay, so I've got my accounts. And the next stage is to go through the accounts one by one. Now, a quick reminder for those of you who maybe have forgotten, my accounts 0 is the first item, my accounts 1 is the next item, my accounts 2, 3, and 4, and so on. So, but we want to replace that with x. We're going to change x to 0, then x to 1, x to 2, x to 3, and x to 4. Okay. So let's do that with a count controlled loop, which is also known as a for loop. Again, the exams are a bit silly in that regard. They like the formal names, so be ready with the formal names. So we're going to say for x in range, and we're going to go from 0, which is the first item in the array, to the last item in the array. Now, in class, we've been doing it as len my accounts. Now, I'm still waiting on answers back from the exam board, but I think this is okay in pseudocode. This is okay in Python, but it's not okay when we do pseudocode. So let's just do it in the way we know is going to be safe for now, even though it's not as good an answer. So we've said we're going to go from 1 to, we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. So I'm going to, oh God, okay, messed up. So I'm going to put a 5 in here. And I'm going to show my line numbers because you can just see what's going on a bit better. Okay, so 4x in range 0 to 5. Now remember, 5 is not included. So by default, Python, when you do a range, it gives you 0 until this number minus 1. Whereas if we did it in pseudocode, it would be from 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because pseudocode is inclusive. Slightly annoying, but that's just life. So now each of these we're going to add to a total. So let's make a variable called total and set it to be 0. So the total is 0, and we're going to add on these numbers one by one to 0. Again, just think about how you would do it as a human. You take that number, add it to the total, take that number, add it to the total, take that number, add it to the total, and so on, maybe. So, how do we do that in here? Well, we say, let's add to the, let's say each item in the array to the total. So we would say total equals total plus my accounts. Now remember what we did before with the accounts and how we accessed each one by one. So my accounts, square brackets, 0, then 1, then 2, but we just change it to x because each time x in our array starts at 0. So the first time is going to be my account 0, which is 900. It's going to be added to the total. Next time it's going to be that one added to the total, and so on and so on. So, and at the end, who knows what the system they're asking for is, but let's just output the total. So how do we do that? We say print total. Now again, in the exam you might be asked to make it in a sensible way. So let's do print the total is funky brackets, and then close the quotation marks. And again, this is just one way to do it. This is kind of like the more recent way. You could do print the total is, comma, total. They've done it this way because it means you can just basically write out your actual sentences that you want to say. It makes it a bit more natural to type out the print. But these two are doing more or less identical things, as hopefully we'll see. So, save, run, fingers crossed. Yay! Okay, so you see how that one's got an extra space in there. A comma adds in a space, so I probably don't need that to get it to be identical. But I think that works, so let's just check our numbers. So add all these together. Do we get 256? Probably. Seems about right. So fingers crossed. That's all good. Now, however, in a slightly more advanced question, we maybe have to give, let's say, numbers above 100, not including 100. So there might be a case where we have to add in a conditional here. And a conditional, hopefully you know already, is an if. So if we say if, and we want to take the item we're looking at, so if the accounts, so say 900, is greater than, can't remember what I said, let's say greater than 100, I think I said, then I'm going to add it to the total. So only if it's greater than 100 will I add it to the total. And then I could change my statement here, the total of items above, oh my god, I can't type, above 100 is, and again you could do the same on the line below, but let's just delete that line, we don't need it, that was just to show you, you can do it in different ways. So the total of items above 100 is 1,900. Well, that makes sense, that's easy math, so 1,900. Notice that 100 was not included because we have said greater than 100. If we wanted to include 100, we'd add an equal sign on the end. Okay, cool. Hopefully that is helpful for your first one, and then we'll move on to looking at our other options, which is going to be counting, fairly similar, next time. Ciao, ciao.